Guys, the Lions are going to get new uniforms.
The Lions, you know what? I'm so glad because you have been begging for the Lions to get new uniforms since August 12th, 2021.
Look,
thank God.
The Lions.
Are you happy?
Look, it's happening. I called for it last year to happen. I thought last year was the year to do it. I was wrong. This coming year is the year to do it.
I thought they were going to wait for the draft.
I don't think so. I don't think that the draft is its separate deal.
They
don't need to make any. They don't need to do that at the draft.
Hold on. You have been saying uniforms since we started working August 12th. Because I remember specifically when they played Green Bay on the whiteout game, you were saying, "See, like these, I can get behind." Last year was the helmets that you wanted to change.
So Amon-Ra St. Brown has a podcast. We can't show you the clip. There's copyright stuff like that. So Amon-Ra St. Brown is playing
on the 33rd
on the 33rd team playing. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. On the 33rd team, that's where his podcast is. He's playing a video game with his brother. And, you can make your uniform whatever you want to make it to. And he says...
Create a player.
Yeah, create a player. And one of the hosts is like, yeah, you can really get a sense of the uniforms you like as a player because you're making that in your video game. And he's like, yeah, we got some new uniforms coming.
Oh.
So I got a lot of people thinking, because I do believe, and I could be wrong on this, but if memory serves correct, when it was decided last year that the Lions were not going to get new uniforms, I believe Rod Wood, Lions president, said they were going to come in the near future, and they're going to revisit it at the end of this year. So it seems to me they are getting players' input and everything like that. Before I show you the concepts, before I show you any concepts, let me ask you this question. Do you want the Lions to do a slight tweak or a major overhaul? I want to start there. A slight tweak or a major overhaul? Maz, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want them to go back, literally, to the Billy Sims uniform. That's what I want, the exact colors, the exact Lion logo. I know it ain't going to happen because you have to be tougher now these days. But that's the Lion uniform, and I thought it was gorgeous. I just loved the numbers, how big they were and outlined. The color blue was different than what they're giving you now, and the gray was silver because they are Honolulu blue and silver. They're not Honolulu blue and gray. They're Honolulu blue and silver, yet you don't really see silver anymore. You see gray. So if you're asking me, I still love the Lion logo. I like the old Lion logo better than the new Lion logo, the tougher Lion. And I think they're probably going to change it. I don't want a complete overhaul. I just want them to tweak it. That's me.
I want a complete overhaul, but I want you to add some of, a splash of what makes the Lions the Lions. I think Matt hit the nail on the head with the silver. Honolulu blue and silver are the Lions colors. It's not gray. And in order to do silver, you got to do a metallic, or you got to do a shine. You got to do something
like Dallas.
Exactly. Or like the Bengals, how they have the orange metallic, but you know that it's orange. You know what I'm saying? You know that it's orange metallic. I think they got to do something like that. But I want to revamp. I want a new overhaul. You say you're not the same old Lions, then don't be the same old Lions. As much as I love Maz, what he's talking about is a uniform that has already existed. This is supposed to be a new team. This is B&L. This is supposed to be the brand new Detroit Lions. 3-13-1 last season, 9-8 this season, and they prepare to win the NFC North this season under Dan Campbell. I say a complete new rehaul. I like the silver idea of Maz with the metallic, but also add some black and some blue in there as well. Complete overhaul, because this is a new team. If you say it's a new team, you need new units.
Braylon, I think it's got to be a complete overhaul. The Detroit Lions uniform represents losing. And I know they had a 9-8 record last year, but that uniform,
but they didn't make the playoffs.
That helmet, it represents one thing: losing. And you've got to change that. You tried to change that perception a little bit last year, and you have. The Detroit Lions are the hot upstart team, but now you've really got to blow the hood off that car, blow the doors off that building, and you need a complete overhaul. For example, you know that winged helmet at Michigan?
Yeah.
What does that represent?
Greatness, winning.
And you'll never change it. You know what Bubbles the Lion represents? Losing, and you got to get rid of it. Gotta get rid of it. A complete overhaul.
And the best part about it, Ryan, Ermanni, and Maz, is if you look at it this way, okay? Last year, they changed the identity. We can see now the trajectory where they aim to be. We can see what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have been cooking it up. But they still didn't do what last year, Maz? They didn't make the playoffs. So which means that you get new uniforms this year, complete overall this year. You go into the playoffs with some new uniforms. First time in the playoffs, new uniform. Now everything starts from that uniform. That uniform now represents the playoffs. It represents the brand new Detroit Lions. I think you got to get new uniforms and make the playoffs this year because we're expecting the Lions to make it. Why not do it in new fashion?
Let me just give you a little history lesson, okay? Can you share a little history lesson with you? The Bucks changed their uniforms in 1997. 0 Super Bowls prior to the change. Made one in 2003. They've won two Super Bowls since. The Broncos changed their uniforms. Complete overhaul in 97. Back-to-back Super Bowls in 98 and 99. They lost 4 Super Bowls prior to this uniform change. How about the Seattle Seahawks? Total overhaul in 2002. Made the Super Bowl 3 years later. They've played in 3 since and won one. The Tennessee Titans. Now they moved, but that is the Houston Oilers franchise.
Right.
They changed uniforms in 1999, made it to the Super Bowl one year later.
Can I correct you? Just on one. Just on one, the Seahawks. The Seahawks changed their uniforms again in 2011 and won the Super Bowl in 2013, my friend Ryan Ermanni.
There you go.
The Super Bowl here in Super Bowl 40 was a different uniform than they
Those
won.
were the Matt Hasselbacks.
There you go. So they changed twice.
Yes.
There you go.
Patriots changed their uniforms in 93, made 1 Super Bowl prior to the change. Of course, have made 9 Super Bowls
they would have won
since
anyway.
they got rid. Either way, whatever the case may be, it's part of the story for
Falcons.
uniform changes. When the Lions change their uniforms and do a complete overhaul, they're going to the Super Bowl. And I think Rod Wood, we knock Rod Wood all the time. I think he's actually done a pretty nice job over the last few years.
Last 2.
The last 2, but hey, last 2 is the last 2, and I think he's really done a nice job on the business end of things over the last 2 years specifically. I think he made the right call in holding off until this year to do the uniform change because now they are ready to win. Now they are ready to contend for Super Bowls. This isn't about making the playoffs. That's a Detroit Lions fan base line of thinking. This is about winning Super Bowls, competing for Super Bowls. And again, a new uniform helps you do that.
Yeah.
It helps you do that. You get some of that stink off of we sell it down. These players, they wear that Lions history. It's a new team, baby. It's a new attitude.
It is.
The Lions, baby.
It is. When you
change it up.
You're absolutely right. When you wear new uniforms, you feel like a different person. You've gotten some of that, what you thought you were, what the franchise was, what the identity was, what the same old dirt, same old smell was. You get that off you. You put a brand new uniform on. I just remember even changing teams with being like when you see people change uniforms. Like I remember being in the league watching the Falcons. Like my boy Roddy White got drafted to the Falcons, same draft class as me. They had the original Falcon jersey that Vic first wore, and then they put the new Falcons jersey on, the one that Tony Gonzalez wore, the ones that they wore. I was like, damn, those some nice uniforms, man. I would love to wear those. When you want to wear something, it means you want to look good, and when you want to look good, you want to play good, and when you feel good, you play good. It's Deion Sanders. So, I definitely like the idea of new uniforms. When we were talking about this last season, we were talking about the helmets. I said, you don't want to drop too much new stuff on it at one time with the Detroit Lions. It was like we had Hard Knocks, then new uniforms, then we also had the draft. You got to sprinkle some things
That's it.
a little bit at a time, and this year will be the big thing for us, splash with uniforms.
Okay, listen to me. I'm not going to let you trash the Buccaneers. Bucko Bruce, to me, was a much better uniform.
But is he trashing?
Yeah, he's trashing all these uniforms.
He's just simply...
Both of you are trashing.
No, Maz.
They represent losing.
No.
Let me finish.
No, because I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm not trashing. He simply
Okay,
said...
I won't say you then. I'll say him.
He simply said once they
trash him.
changed the uniforms, they started winning.
Yes.
That's not trashing.
I'm just saying it doesn't go hand in hand.
All 5 of those teams that I represented, the
Their
drastic
old uniform
change,
was better.
Their old uniform might have been better, but it also represents losing.
It doesn't represent losing. The New England Patriots would Pat the Patriot went to Super Bowl 20.
Yeah, I said they went
And they
to
got
one.
their ass kicked by the Chicago Bears,
and
one of the best teams to ever suit up. The Houston Oilers was a proud franchise. Then it's not in Houston anymore. They're in Tennessee, so the oil well is still back in Tennessee. The Seattle Seahawks still have the Seahawk on the side. He's just more angry now than he was back in the day, in the Jim Zorn days, when they made a couple of AFC championship games. And the Bucko Bruce, to me, is the classic uniform. I just love that Tampa Bay creamsicle uniform.
Well, they changed it and
They
won to the
changed
Super
it. They
Bowl.
went to the Super Bowl. Congratulations.
And so did the Denver Broncos.
Denver
won back-to-back
Broncos. How do you
seasons.
take Bucko? How do you take Bucky the
Man.
Bronco off your helmet?
But
Orange Crush.
We're having two different conversations, man.
Yeah, two different
One
conversations.
conversation is true. If you look at when they changed their uniform, all those franchises won. If I tell you 1 + 1 is 2, it doesn't matter if you're mad. The answer is 2. The answer is 2.